Have you ever thought to yourself, gee, I wish that some dude in a room would read the lore from my favorite video game to me? No? Well, maybe you should have thought that, because I'm about to do just that. Sit back, relax. I'm about to enter the lore of Have a Nice Death. There's no better way to start than at the very top. Death themselves, the CEO and co-founder of Death Incorporated. Death has been around since the dawn of time. It started out as a small family business, peacefully reaping soul after soul in the time-honored tradition of ancient passing rites. Sounds just lovely. Everybody's favorite intern, Pump QUINN. A graduate of the Sepulchral School of Eternal Vanity Management. Pump had their sights set on an internship at Death Inc. Thanks to a lot of determination and insistence, Pump has found a place managing the agenda of Death himself. Very exciting. Don't let his small stature fool you. Jerry, the union representative, is a guy that you want on your side. Some people might assume he's lazy. Jerry knows he doesn't have the toughest job out there. Nevertheless, he's the only one to put his colleagues' well-being first, and to enforce a work-life balance at Death Inc. Heaven forbid anyone confuse him with being an idiot, though. Looking wide awake, Joe, the office manager. This is what happens when you drink too much black coffee. In fact, the coffee Joe drinks is now so strong, it once got him in a chokehold. Well, not the coffee itself, of course, but rather the sugar lump he likes to dip in it to warm himself up. Since he's incapable of focusing on anything for longer than a second, he accidentally mixed up his usual cube of sugar with a stock cube that expired 3 years ago. Patty, or Patrick the receptionist, he's a sharp one, Patrick Thuggins was the victim of a terrible prank at the company he worked at while he was alive. Blind as a bat, someone stole his glasses for a laugh, and poor old Patrick unwittingly overcooked his favorite dish at the company restaurant. He remembered to pierce the lid with a fork, but accidentally heated it in the nuclear reactor instead of the microwave. Mr. Oshaw, Health and Safety Inspector. Tony Oshaw has never once smiled in his whole life, and he's not about to start now. Well, okay, he does smile sometimes, but only on those rare occasions when his natural cynicism bears witness to the irony of a truly scathing situation. Like when a colleague finds themselves locked in the copy room for days. Mark, food truck driver / company snack manager. When he was alive, Mark used to work on a cool TV show bringing science to the masses. That's where he developed his particularly friendly way of talking to his customers. He drove the truck that served as a backdrop to the shows. A funny guy who was always ready with a wink and a joke or two. Jacob, technical manager and associate blacksmith. Back when time began, Death forged his own scythe and enchanted it with his own skeletal hands. Over the course of his travels across the various planes of existence, he got to know Jacob, a monstrous kiln filled with molten lava. Jacob accepted Death's offer of a drink, and they started swapping trading cards. Jacob was pretty happy, since he'd assumed he was the only nerd dorky enough to play 1,000 Legends of Thousands of Rings. ORVILLE, Junior Research and Development Operator. ORVILLE has been here a long while. His first job at Death Inc. was to shadow his great-great-uncle Jacob, to learn the art of ancient blacksmithing. All in all, it was a bit of a failure. He couldn't figure out how to use the equipment, and the other employees at the company weren't always very kind with the enchanted teenage cauldron. "You're here to learn the ropes," Jacob used to grumble at him. Harriet, the business coach. Great to the power of N. Distant second cousin of Death. Harriet could have taken up a similar career, but she instead opted to try her luck at the 2098 Extreme Olympic Games before passing away in a dramatic hang-gliding, javelin-throwing competition. And that wraps it up for the employee lore here at Death Inc. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. And until next time, have a nice death.